It's me again, Laura, and this time we're taking a tour of France. And I'm so excited that you've come on this journey with me because we have a lot to cover. We're going to the Loire Valley, the longest wild river in all of France. It takes us from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the center of France. The wine that I chose is actually probably something you don't know, which is the most exciting thing about these packs. This is a Muscadet, and Le Fresnay is a Muscadet sur lie, which just essentially means we have this Muscadet grape. It's a refreshing, kind of like lemony, citrus. Think about it like a beer. And if we put this Muscadet grape with its yeast, which it's TMI, but basically it gives this rich kind of biscuity flavor. So you have this citrusy wine that has like this toasty biscuity flavor. If you love Chablis, I think Muscadet is kind of like, it's the perfect wine. This is my summer white. It's like beach, pool, ready, pop a bottle. There's not a single person I know that doesn't like it, so I'm psyched about that. Contrast is always important when you're trying to discover wine. You know, you have a wine that's citricy and acidic, and we keep talking about that, but what does it look to not have that? So in the northern parts of France, you're gonna get that sour kind of tart fruit, but in the south, you get this really rich, kind of creamy, riper apple flavor. So the Domaine de la Garrigue, Saint Martin white is just exactly that. Think about like custard and cream and, I mean, texture is this wine. Two other reds are in the pack. You know, we have a wine from the Languedoc Roussillon, which is a blend of Grenache and Syrah, two of my absolute favorite grapes, especially Grenache. It reads like sun-kissed Pinot Noir, and it's just like jammy and juicy, but silky and light. And then the other one is more Syrah based, so that's like pepper, olive, bacon, smoked. It's like screaming for barbecue. So I'm excited to take this journey and for you to taste these wines. Our first wine is Veronique Gunther Chiraud Muscadet Sevre at Maine from the Loire Valley in France. So what did I just say? I have no clue. No, I'm kidding. I know. The grape is Muscadet. Have you heard of it? If not, this is your first. I'm so excited. So Muscadet is a grape that's also called Melon de Bourgogne. Basically, think about the region of Nantes. If you don't know it already, it is a region just like on the Atlantic Ocean. You can feel the Atlantic Ocean in France just sweeping into the vineyards, and you get this salinity in the wine like a salt lick. And that's why I'm like, this is the perfect wine for the beach. This is oyster wine. So generally, white wine can be in range from alcohol of, you know, let's say 8% with German Riesling, all the way to 15% with some of the richer Chardonnays and Viognier. This is like the classic French white wine, 12% alcohol from a cold region. So what we get is this light-bodied wine, tons of citrus, lots of lime zest and lemon zest, and almost to me like feels like, and this is a good thing, like a crisp beer. Can I say that? It's yeasty, and the reason it's yeasty is because they do this process called sur lie aging. That's like yeast eats sugar, it makes alcohol, and then the yeast are in contact with the skin, and if you stir them a little, or if you leave the wine with the yeast, you get some of that bready flavor in the wine. So for me, I'm thinking like we're just getting this big, huge chateau of oysters. It's summer, it's beachy, and we're just gonna even chill this and leave it on the beach and just keep drinking. Did you ever love a producer so much that you just find yourself buying their wine over and over and over again? You know, when I'm tasting wine, I get all of these samples delivered, and then I have to sift through them, and then they make the final cut and the wines that I send to you. Château Saint Martin de la Garrigue, I had their red wine, and I sent it in an alternative steakhouse red pack, and then I had their white, and I'm like, I really desperately want to send this to the teams to taste, and I had to pick it. It's amazing, and you might even see their rosé in a future pack. So what is this wine? It's from the Languedoc region of France. This is one of the few unbelievable value wine regions left in France. So we're in the southeast. You're imagining this sun-kissed, sun-filled area, and you know, I know it's cold here in New York, and so I'm thinking I wish I could go there, so we're going via the glass. This is a blend of the grape called Marsanne, Roussanne, there's a little Grenache, there's Picpoul. It's like the kitchen sink of the southeast grape varietals. And you can read those in your tasting notes, but I'm really wanting to talk about like Why is this wine in this pack? If you think about France, I don't only want you to think about these light, refreshing, sour white wines. I want you to think about like all of the climates and all of the microclimates within France. And this shows just if you like Chardonnay, you like that richer style. This is that tropical fruit, that melon, that cantaloupe, and I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to go to France right now. Wine number 3, or the third one, I would recommend if you're going in a sequence. But by the way, you don't have to. You can try red if that fits your style, or if you're having a wine or a menu that fits more appropriately with red wine. But in the order that I'm talking, if you drink them all in one night, is this is a wine from a region called Cabardes. And Cabardes is the only region in the Languedoc-Roussillon that mandates that you blend these crazy grapes from the Languedoc with Bordeaux grapes. So in this case, we're drinking 50% Cabernet Franc, which is a grape that grows in Bordeaux, and it's savory and peppery, with other grapes like Grenache and Syrah and Merlot, and these all kind of give something unique and different to a wine. One of my favorite things about blends is like they end up being more of a crowd pleaser. So Les Hauts de Ventenac is the name of the winery, and I'm thinking like we should taste this together. Oh wow, like it definitely just tastes like Bordeaux from a ripe vintage. If that doesn't mean anything to you, that means it tastes like it's from one of the most famous regions and has this savory aroma, blackberry and currant and black plums, and those are the Bordeaux markers, the Cabernet markers, but you can see from the color it's not your typical Bordeaux, which is meaning that it's a little bit lighter in color. The tannins are firm, but dusty, and then all of that like southern sunshine comes through. And so if it was like a little too tart, if you've ever had Bordeaux and you wanted a little more generous fruit, this is definitely your wine. Marrenon La Capella. It's from the region of Ventoux. It's from Provence. This is a blend of Syrah and Grenache, so 70% Syrah and 30% Grenache. When we do our videos, you're gonna get to know me a little better, and you're gonna realize, you know what, if I don't already know, she's obsessed with the Rhone Valley. She loves these grapes. And the reason I do is because, listen, I don't wanna spend a lot of money to get a great bottle of wine. I wanna I wanna cherry pick all of these great regions, and I wanna find the best wines, which is kind of the point of our relationship. So this is Syrah, smoky, peppery, big, juicy, bacon, olive, lavender, all of those amazing things I associate with Syrah. But alone, it might be too, like, I don't know, rustic or clumsy or heavy. So that's when the Grenache comes in. I'll show you what I mean. In the beginning, when you taste it, it's all Syrah. So it's that dark purple color. Different than Australian Shiraz because it's not as, you know, candied or jammy. But still, Syrah is showing. I want this like charred black and blue steak to bring out that peppery quality in the Syrah. But then, just as your mouth is kind of dried out by that, you know, pepper and olive and savory flavor, you get that kiss of Grenache, which is like, I always say it, I know, I feel like a broken record, it's sun-kissed Pinot Noir. So the two, when they're so opposing, become like the perfect pair, like a good marriage, I guess. Est-ce que tu parles français? Do you speak French? I do. I speak the French wine language. And I'm excited that, you know, for $69.99, this pack comes to you and you don't have to spend $8,000 to visit the region. We're backpacking through France. We're seeing all these exciting, undiscovered regions, and hopefully you take my videos. I know it's hard to film a video, so believe me, I'm not perfect at them, but you take them and you parrot what I'm saying at your next dinner party. You'll be really impressive to your friends. If you're not ready to leave me just yet and you love touring France with me, you have to check out my Calatal pack. So we're visiting California, but we're taking along some Italian grapes that were planted by immigrants in California when they first moved to this country. It's gonna be so exciting.